Hey, y'all. Thanks for vibing with
Cece and
Chichi, where we talk about all the hot topics. What's your vibe? What's your vibe, girl? What you been
girl,
on?
it's been a busy good time. I promise. Like it's so much going on. We're getting things done, crossing things off the list. My vibe
Yeah.
is good. Drinking water. Cheers.
You
What
know,
you on? What's your vibe like?
our vibes is always kind of similar. So, yeah, it's just, doing task by task, trying to get these projects worked on little by little each
Right.
day. School is wrapping up. So, we're on that summertime kind of
Mm.
thing. So, just trying to get different things off the list and then trying to be all done before my hubby and the kids come home. So, I can just be with them and just watch the TV. So,
Exactly, and relax.
yeah. So,
Yes, same here. I have family coming in town tomorrow, so I'm trying to clean up, finish up work, girl. And then randomly, I just want to go to the pool. That's really on my mind. Like when you said
right.
summertime, I was like, that's what I've been wanting to do.
Yes. Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna? Is that on your task?
Not today, maybe hopefully in the next few weeks, but I just want to get to the pool and just lay out, do some swimming,
Yeah.
just chill outside, girl.
Yeah, just swim,
Just
just
ah!
yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into these topics. We have
So
some good ones today. So the conversation that I want us to discuss or have is really about pursuing.
okay.
So we left a cliffhanger on our last episode about a woman proposing to a man and if a man should accept. Before you even get to that, I want us to talk about who should do the pursuing.
Okay. Well, my answer is definitely going to be the guy. I
Mhm.
definitely feel like the guy should pursue, especially because, they have that testosterone, the masculinity, and that's just what I envision a man to do is to pursue the lady. Now, after that relationship is established and they're in a, mutual relationship, exclusive relationship, then the lady can still do things for the man. Maybe the lady can take the man out to eat or take him to the movies and things like that. But I feel like that initial pursuit, it should be from the guy because that's just what I know it to be. So I'll kind of like just stop there and kind of get your vibe on that, and then we'll keep
Right.
going.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with that response and the outlook in general. I do believe that innately a man has things that they are more prone to want to do,
Okay.
and it's natural for them, and they find joy and pleasure in doing it. So I personally enjoy knowing that the man is interested and willing to put in that effort to show how interested he is. Like, do you have your mind made up to pursue me? Do you have some type of intention? And I know every band doesn't pursue because they want to like build some long life with you. But like being able to navigate and see like and discern, okay, so they're coming at me because they're trying to pursue me, which I like because that's to me very masculine.
Hmm.
And I'm feminine. I want to receive or decide to reject it. And that just comes with the territory. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I do believe people like kind of shy from pursuing because of the rejection. But I'm like, that's
Hmm.
part of life, you know?
Right.
Keep it moving.
Exactly. And I also, just to go a little bit further with that too, I also feel like if a lady were to take that and then that pursuit from the man, it could do something to them, like
Mm.
mentally, because a man, there's egocentric and they like
Mhm.
that masculinity. They want to, show that they're a man. So I feel
Mm.
like if you take that away from them, it could mentally be negative on them. Like for
Mm.
instance, if you're like, I don't know, if you on the side of the road, you and your husband, and the tire just blow, and then you say, "Oh, honey, you stay in the car. Let me,
Mhm.
start, fixing the tires." I feel like that's a no. Like, and I feel
Mhm.
like your man will also look at you like, "Wait, you're not doing something like, what are you doing? Like, this is
Right.
not organic. This is not right. You making me feel like a lady." So I feel
Mm.
like you should
Mhm.
allow the man to do what they were innately built to do biologically, and then kind of just do what you do.
Yeah, and I mean, this is our perspective on men that fall within that role of wanting to be, you know, the pursuer and masculine in that aspect. So, of
Right.
course, this is our advice or our opinion on things. But I do even think with small things, pumping gas or opening doors. I mean, I've encountered men that will be like, I'm going to open the door because it's just natural, whatever. They're
Right.
like, don't touch that.
Right.
And I gladly allow them to take that initiative and go ahead and open the door. You know, I respond like, oh, you can have it. That's wonderful. You know, I appreciate that. I respect it. I'm not going to be like, no, I got, it's like,
Right.
and even with the tire situation that you explained, yeah, that to me is so backwards and so fake. It's not authentic to me. I feel
Right.
like when people are responding and reacting within their natural instincts, that's when you get the best version of people. That's
Right.
when you get the best, you know, the best person that will show up the best version. Because I think when you overstep things that you shouldn't even be doing just for your own gratification, then it's going to not be as organic. It's not going to be fluid, you know? So I do think there's something about a man's psyche, like you said, that they want to do those things because that's what they've been given. That's their role. That's their um, biological make or whatever for
Right.
men that are very masculine in that capacity, I suppose.
Right. And I never really thought about it when I go to a gas station with my husband. Like, do I really like pump the gas? And now that I just really think about it, I don't. Like when he goes to pump the gas, I mean, I could just go pump the gas, but organically, I don't think I do that much. I may have done it once,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, but
Maybe
I
one
feel
off.
like, when I'm with my man, I just sit there and I sit pretty and I let him do those masculine things. Now, if my husband's not there, I'm pumping gas. I'll get my hands dirty. I'll open the hood. I'll put my oil in there and everything. But right now, like when my husband's here, if my oil's low, I'm gonna tell him like, "Hey, babe, my
Mm-hmm.
oil's low." If my tire says a low tire pressure, I'm gonna let my husband know because that's what he is built to do. But I still can do it. Say, for instance, he's
Right.
out of town or something like that. We still can do it, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
overstep those boundaries. And for instance, like me being a lady, also, I want to be a nurturer and things like that. I want to take off husband's shoes. I want to cook, clean. Are you okay? You rub icy rub on your knees because you worked out too hard. Like I want to do those
Mm-hmm.
things. Now,
That's so sweet.
if you tell me, oh no, don't do that, or no, it's that I'm gonna feel some type of way because innately,
Mm-hmm.
organically, as a
Mm-hmm.
lady, I want to do those things. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
biologically we're wired in a certain way. So if you
Mm-hmm.
try to go contrary to that, then it's gonna cause a disequilibrium, and then it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
kind of it could go left, it could go right, but we don't know. But now we know that there's
Mm-hmm.
something screwed off incorrectly, so we don't know
Yeah.
what happened.
It's causing a disconnect for sure. And I
Mhm.
love how you even mentioned like being a woman and in your natural organic energy and femininity, you want to nurture your man. And if your man didn't allow you to really express yourself in that way, then you would feel kind of like depleted in a sense. You would feel like you're not able to truly be authentic and nurture and, just
A
love on your
woman,
man the way. Yeah, exactly. So it goes both ways. I feel like when one gender takes something away from the other, it's going to impact them either way. Not
right?
just with men, but with women as well. Like, and I don't think there's anything wrong with a man being loving and nurturing. We want those things. And we're
Of
not saying
course,
that a woman is not capable of taking care of herself and doing those things and pursuing if need to be, whatever. But I think it's when you allow each gender to operate in their natural essence of how they feel seen and heard and just being able to portraying themselves in their true nature and
right?
just receiving and allowing.
Yeah,
I think that's just so beautiful. That's how you get that complementary pieces that come together.
I
So I
agree.
do believe like I've even heard men say like I wouldn't accept a woman's proposal because then it's taking something away from me and what I want to do for her to show that I am committed.
Right,
Men want to get on one knee if that's what their intentions, purpose, drive is. They want to do that. And if you take that from them, basically what you were saying, then they're going to feel depleted. They're going to feel like you're overstepping your boundaries.
Right. Like as ladies, we always, dream of a man proposing and getting on their knee. That's so we're
Hmm.
wired to one day get that. And the man is probably raised up, ready to get on their knees to propose to somebody. So if you just like wipe that off from them, you just wiped out something they've been waiting for God knows how long to do.
Hmm.
And it could be a disconnect. And it could be
Yeah.
something that they was envy you or whatever about. So
Probably. It's probably
resent,
gonna be a little bit
that's
of
it.
resentment.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And I do believe it's because we're raised, we have gender constructs and all this stuff. But I
Mhm.
even think innately, like biologically, we
Yeah,
have things that appeal to us versus things that don't, or things that shows our true feelings when we can't portray it any other way, or we can't, demonstrate it any other way. Like it's a way for us to express ourselves, and I think it shows up differently. And we have to
right,
allow those differences to show up, if that
right,
makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
right. So,
So
Vibe Squad, y'all let us know. Would you allow for our men? Would you allow a lady to propose to you? Would that be okay for you? And ladies, are you willing to propose to a man in 2023? Would you propose to a man if you felt like doing it? Let us know. Comment below. Let's talk about it.
I'm team no proposal to man
I'm
to
team
men.
no proposal to men at all. Period.
That's it.
Drop
So
the mic. I'm
I
playing.
mean, Godspeed. Like, so then our next topic, I want to talk about the content that we consume and why is it important to monitor the content that we consume. So us being content creators, we're very intentional about the information, the message that we put out. We
Mhm.
go about it in a way to raise the vibrations, raise the frequencies. We want
Mhm.
comic relief. We want food for thought. We want it all,
Yes,
in a healthy way. Mental health, wellness. That's what we advocate for. So
that's it.
that's what we fuel our messages, our conversations with. But on the reverse, there's other things that people consume content wise. And I believe that there are some subliminal messages that are very negative, that are um, potentially destructive, harmful for the psyche. And so I do believe that it's very important for people to pay attention to what they are taking in content wise, whether it's TV,
Yeah.
podcasts, books, radio, whatever it may be. But what are your thoughts on that?
No, you're definitely right. I know we spoke about environments, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Your environment, who you surround yourself with, those conversations, people,
Mhm.
like you said, television, those things, ironically or indirectly, affect how we move on a day to day.
Mhm.
It affects our decision making. It affects our thoughts. It affects, it just affects things that we don't know that it affects. So it
Mhm.
is important to really pay attention to those content because they are feeded into your mentee, and you want to keep that healthy as much as you can because you won't know when it's happening. You may make decisions based on what you have heard and what you think is right. Here with Vibing with Cece and Chichi, we fortunately have positive vibes. We just have different conversations that, stimulate, food for thought, like you said, but nothing negative here.
Mhm.
But for instance, there's other things you can watch that are negative, and you have to be very careful with those things because then you may interpret those things as the right thing to do, but it's not necessarily the right thing to do. So it is important to just kind of monitor, your environment and what you put in your mind because you don't know how it can affect you. Just like when you eat something bad or eat something that's not too healthy, once you ingest it, you don't know how your body is going to die, absorb it.
Mhm.
So just make sure what you ingest in is health or is healthy or at least in moderation, not extremely bad because you don't know what it's going to do to your body. It's just going to do it.
Mhm. No, I agree. And the fact that there's so many different genres or variations of content out there,
Mhm.
it's a way to also be expansive in a sense. Maybe you were initially watching like home decor or gardening and you want to get into world geographics or politics or something like that. I do believe that there's a role or a lane for everything potentially out there, but it's being selective. And why are you going about consuming this content? Because I do believe that like it's going to play a part in a response that you may have later. You're like, oh, this is not even me. And it's because you consume something. And sometimes these shows or games or whatever we're watching can desensitize us.
Yes.
It desensitizes us to our humanity and the humanity of other people around us. So I do believe that it's a time and a place for a lot of different things, but some things we don't have to take in because it could literally be deep detrimental, and it
Yeah.
could change our neuroplasticity, like the way our brain
Mhm.
processes things.
That's right.
Not to say that I don't watch ratchet TV, because I love a good ratchet show,
Girl,
girl.
me
I
too,
love a hip hop. Like,
what's
that's
that?
what it is.
Candace,
It was a
Cabernet girl.
See, I haven't taken it that far, but that's
Yeah.
what it is. But like you're not gonna sit up there and watch it all day, all night. Only this type of content is gonna be what you see on social media, you reading all the articles. Like, yeah, you're gonna consume a little bit, but you gotta flush it out too. And I
Yeah.
think that's where it comes to digesting. How
Mhm.
are you going to flesh this out to put in other things that are going to be more beneficial, more suited to your evolution, to your growth? And some things are just entertainment,
Yes.
but I think it's that balance we have to find.
That's right. Moderation.
Right.
Moderation.
So
Balance.
then we're going to go ahead and jump into our last topic.
What we got, girl? What you gonna go with the
This
last
one is an interesting topic. I can't wait to hear your perspective.
Okay.
So I know you've heard of white privilege,
I have.
and you know what white privilege is, and
I
it
do.
exists.
Yes, it
So
does.
there is this concept of pretty privilege.
Hmm. I think I have that issue.
Girl.
Uh,
Oh. Well, so I was having a conversation with someone, and come to find out, both men and women are susceptible to pretty privilege. It
okay.
works both ways. Men can have pretty privilege, and women can have pretty privilege. So
Okay.
there's this phenomenon called the halo effect.
Hmm.
And it's kind of like the rose colored lenses, sort of, where because this person looks a certain way and they're generically pretty, you automatically think they're a good person.
Okay.
And so that can work in your favor, but it can also work against you. Before
Hmm.
we get into that, how do you feel about pretty privilege? Do you think this is a real thing that occurs? And what does that look like to you?
Yeah, well, just thinking about in like the business setting, it is important how you look. And just from, my experience and looking at people and interviewing people, it is about how you look. So, it is important to like, if you're going to be a businessman and try to go get contracts and sales,
Mm,
ironically, you got to look the part. So if you can look handsome, clean cut, in shape, even better because you're going to get the
mm,
sales. I don't know why, because you see what I just spoke about. I spoke about characteristics that are physical. I didn't
mhm.
even get to the brain. But
Right.
if you look handsome, clean cut, in shape with your tux or whatever, you are probably 80%, going
Mhm,
to get that, that sell. And then if you have the knowledge on top of that, 100%, because it is
mhm,
the way you look and vice for men and ladies. So
mhm,
even when I think about when I start, doing business and things like that, I'm going to have the heels. I'm going to dress the part because
mhm.
from my observation and growing up and seeing how things happen out there in the world, I think they get the jobs, if you
Right.
look pretty. So,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be in a gym,
Right.
even though I don't need the gym for my pretty, but that's
Girl. And that's the thing, like, it goes deeper to just people saying, like, okay, you can't judge a book by its cover or whatever. And I really don't think you should, of course, because just because they are attractive physically, I've also heard, and I'm not too big into like serial killers and
okay,
psychopaths, but what I've heard statistically is a lot of the people that fall within that scope
okay,
are attractive. And that's how they were able to maneuver the way they were and
mm,
kill people, manipulate, rape, abuse, whatever it may be, women, men, and children,
mm,
because their appeal
yeah,
gave them
that
leeway in a
access,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah, access, yeah.
mhm,
So it's almost like for our viewers, I want people to take pretty privilege a step further and figure out what is the real what is that person trying to do, in a sense, like where's that person coming from, who are they,
yeah,
like what is their character,
mhm,
because attraction is one thing, but that attraction could cover up a multitude of other things.
yeah,
that you will overlook just because this person appeals to you. So just because they're attractive doesn't mean they do no wrong. That doesn't, or whatever it may be. Yes, pretty privilege can work in people's favor for a good reason. Like we said, getting jobs, maybe making friends. There's a lot of things that comes with pretty privilege. And, we
Right.
can all look it up and do more research. But at the same time, you don't want to be bamboozled by somebody that is attractive and they have the worst personality. They are stealing and lying and doing all
Right.
these other crazy things. And you're giving them access to that just because you want to be entertained by somebody that looks good, essentially.
Right. Yeah, there's an actual show that called Fatal Attraction. So it can be
Mm,
very fatal. So, like you said, just please look a little bit a little bit deeper when you're making decisions based on just pretty. And
right.
also, if you just look on YouTube right now, Vibe Squad, and look at different makeup, podcasts, honey, you can put makeup on and you can look like a whole different type of person. So don't even let the book, don't let the book, deceive you. Go deeper and know who that person is, because you can plaster your face. Like literally, you
Mm-hmm.
can plaster it without makeup and be a whole different face. So
Mm-hmm.
go deeper when you're making your decisions.
Right. And not to say that pretty people are not good people. Like, we're good people,
No,
you
no.
know, we're here.
Yeah.
And but I do think it is important to not just stop there
Right.
and give people the opportunity to really show their true character. And I think that's
Mhm.
the whole purpose. Like, yeah, pretty privilege can work in your favor. And I mean, if you're smart, you're going to allow it to. I mean, that's just
100.
what it is. Why
Mhm.
not? If you know that's going to give you a heads up in some way, or, give you some type of benefit. But also for people looking at it from a different direction, don't be deceived by it either.
Right.
Yeah. So
Exactly. All
that's our
right.
message.
Well, Bob Squad, you already know what we want right now. Let's talk about it. Let us know your thoughts about pretty privileges. Let us know, is that a thing? Do you, happen to have those issues, or have you seen it work on other people's favor? Just let us know what your thoughts are. Comment below. And thank you always for tuning in every Saturday at 12 o'clock. We definitely appreciate it. Of course, if you're a new watcher, subscribe, and turn your notification button on. And that's all I got.